Welcome to the Ashford and St. Peter's Hospital's tool exercise videos. You should have been assessed and referred by your physio as suitable for these classes. If you are unsure if you're able to take part, have any concerns about how to complete the exercises, or have any medical history or new symptoms that you have not discussed with a health professional, please contact your physiotherapist or GP for further advice before starting. These videos are for patients who need to improve their strength and conditioning. The mat work class focuses on building foundations and improving control of your body, utilizing a series of Pilates and yoga-based exercises. The strength class is circuit-based and uses weights or small water bottles to strengthen your body. Both classes are suitable for beginners. We hope you enjoy the classes. For the mat work class, make sure you have a mat laid out on the floor in front of you with plenty of space around yourself to complete the exercises. Make sure you're wearing loose, comfortable clothing and have a water bottle nearby in case you get thirsty. We'll start with a short warm-up. Start in a kneeling position on all fours on your hands and knees. As you exhale, drop your hips back towards your heels. Bring your knees slightly wider if you need to make space for your belly. Drop your forehead onto the mat and reach forwards with your hands. As you breathe in, imagine you're drawing the breath to the bottom of your lungs, feeling your ribs expanding out to the sides and feeling your belly filling with air. As you exhale, release all of the air from your lungs and feel your belly drop and sink deeper into the pose. On your next exhale, push yourself back up into an all-fours position. Go into your cow position, where you look forwards, drop your belly towards the floor, increase the curve in your lower back, and take a breath in here. On your next exhale, push yourself up through your hands and feet, bringing your hips up towards the ceiling into a downward dog position. Make sure your back is nice and flat, your neck is long. You could have a small bend in your knees, or you can have straight legs, depending on the tension you can feel through the back of your legs. Pause in this position for one cycle of breathing in and breathing out. On your next exhale, drop your knees back down to the ground and send your hips back down towards your ankles, back into child's pose, reaching your hands forwards and dropping your head onto the mat. Repeat the cycle of poses from child's pose to the cow stretch to downward facing dog 3 times. Once you have finished your final sequence, come up into a 4-point kneeling position. Push yourself up gently into standing. We're going to be doing a short sequence here from yoga called a sun salutation, which helps improve your flexibility and helps build the strength in your upper and lower body. Start by standing tall, keeping your feet together on the ground. Bring your hands together at your chest. Look forwards, keeping your gaze nice and soft. As you inhale, lift your arms over your head. Lean your hips forwards and arch your back. As you exhale, drop your chest forwards towards your knees and fold down. You can keep your hands on your shins or reach down towards the ground. Your knees can be slightly bent if needed. On your next inhale, come up halfway with a flat back, look slightly forwards. When you inhale, step both of your feet back into a plank position. Keep your back straight. Keep your shoulders over your wrists. Keep your neck long. You can pause here for a breath or 2 to help build your core strength. On your next exhale, lower your knees, your chin, and your chest to the floor. Keep your elbows tucked in. As you inhale, straighten your legs. Bring your hips slightly forward and bend at the waist. Lift your chest off the ground. You can have your elbows slightly bent, or you can have your arms fully straight, depending on your flexibility. On your next exhale, lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Push back through your hands and feet. Keep your back straight into a downward dog position. Walk your feet forwards, keeping your head dropped towards your knees. Inhale here. As you exhale, come back up halfway, keep flat back and look slightly forwards. As you inhale, bring yourself back up into standing. Bring your arms up above your head, arch your lower back. Pause here for a second. And as you breathe out, come back to your starting position, standing tall, feet together on the ground with your hands together at your chest, keeping your gaze looking soft, looking forwards. Repeat the sun salutation 3 times. When you have finished your final sun salutation, we are ready to start the main exercises of the mat work class. Bring yourself down into a lying position on your back on your mat. Keep your knees bent a comfortable distance away from your bottom, roughly hip width distance apart. We're going to start with doing diaphragmatic breathing. This is breathing which helps engage your core muscles and your pelvic floor muscles. Bring your hands to your lower ribs or to the top part of your belly. Take a deep breath. Imagine you're breathing the air into the base of your lungs. And as you do this, you should feel your ribs expanding out to the sides. As you exhale, I want you to imagine that you are blowing out candles on a cake. You should feel your abdominal muscles contract slightly. Repeat this cycle, breathing into the side of your ribs and breathing out the candles on an imaginary cake in front of you. Continue this exercise. For your next exercise, bring your arms down to your sides and relax your shoulders down to the mat. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, draw your belly button towards your spine, engaging your abdominal muscles. Pull one leg up into a tabletop position, making sure your hips and knees are at 90-degree angles. Breathe in here, and as you breathe out, extend your leg down towards the mat. Hover your foot, pause. Breathe out as you draw your leg back into a tabletop position and return your foot to the ground. Repeat this on the other side. Breathe into your belly. As you breathe out, engage your tummy muscles. Bring the other leg up into a tabletop position. As you breathe out, extend your leg down towards the mat. Pause for a moment, making sure abdominals are engaged. And then bring your knee back into tabletop as you exhale. And return your foot to the ground. Keep going, alternating between each leg. Make sure your hips are not swaying side to side on this exercise and that your belly button is drawn towards your spine, making sure that your abdominals are engaged throughout. The next exercise is called an overhead reach. Remain on your back with your arms resting by your sides, your knees bent, feet comfortable distance away from your bottom and hip width apart. Take a breath in to your lower ribs. As you exhale, bring your arms up in front of you. As you inhale, feel the connection of the shoulder blade muscles. Imagine you're gliding them into your back pockets and away from your ears. As you exhale, lower both of your arms overhead as far as control can be maintained. Ensure your rib cage is soft and doesn't flare out, and there is no movement in your lower spine. Your tummy should be engaged. Return your arms to the starting position in front of you. Repeat this exercise. We're now going to challenge our coordination doing a beginner's dead bug. Remain lying on your back with your arms by your sides, your knees bent, feet a comfortable distance away from your bottom, shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Complete a few pelvic tilts here, dipping your pelvis forwards, creating an arch in your lower back between the mat, and then tipping it backwards, flattening your back into the mat. Repeat this several times, making those rocks smaller and smaller, coming to a neutral position of your spine, a spine that is not fully flat against the floor, but also not fully arched up, a neutral position as you would have if you were standing. As you exhale, Bring both of your arms up in front of you, engaging your shoulder, imagining you're gliding your shoulders into your back pockets. Making sure your tummy is engaged, your belly button drawn towards your spine. As you exhale, bring your left foot up into a tabletop position. Pause, breathe in, and as you breathe out, extend your left leg down and extend your right arm above your head. Make sure your ribs are not flaring. There is no movement in your lower spine, and your tummy muscles are engaged throughout the exercise. Pause, breathe in, maintaining that contraction of your tummy, and as you breathe out, come back to center. Repeat the exercise on this side, and we'll switch halfway. Now switch sides. As you exhale, bring your right foot up into tabletop. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, extend your right foot, and at the same time, extend your left arm above your head, making sure your ribs are not flaring, your tummy is engaged, and there is no movement in your lower back. Repeat the exercise on the same side. We will now do some hip circles. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, draw your belly button towards your spine, engaging your tummy muscles, and bring your left leg up towards the ceiling. Keep your knees straight and point your toes. Your right leg remains in a bent position, giving you stability. Your knees should not move at all throughout this exercise, and you can also place your hands on your hips to make sure that your pelvis does not rock side to side. Start drawing dinner-sized circles on the ceiling with your pointed toes. Continue doing this. Now reverse your circle. Stop there, return your foot to the floor, and as you breathe out, draw your right leg up towards the ceiling now, pointing your toes and keeping your knees straight. Begin drawing your circles with your pointed toes. Now reverse your circle. Bring your leg back down to the mat. We're now going to strengthen our bottom muscles by doing a series of glute bridges. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Keep your hands by your sides, palms facing the floor, feet comfortable distance away from your bottom, hip width apart. Take a breath in to prepare, and as you breathe out, start by flattening your lower back into the mat, squeezing your bottom muscles as you push your bottom up off the floor towards the ceiling, vertebra by vertebra, starting with your tailbone, your sacrum, your lower back, and your middle back. Pause at the top. Make sure your ribs are not flaring outwards. Your belly button is drawn towards your spine with your abdominals engaged. Breathe in here, and as you breathe out, Bring your bottom back down towards the mat from your middle back, your lower back, and then your sacrum and your tailbone is last to uncurl. Repeat this exercise at the pace of your own breath. Push yourself into a side lying position. Make sure your hips are stacked one on top of the other, legs stretched out. Use your arm as a pillow underneath your head, and with your other hand, you can reach forwards in front of you, giving yourself some stability, or you can place your hand on your hip. This will help make sure that you're not rocking forwards and backwards throughout the exercise. Flex your top foot, pointing your toes towards yourself. Draw your waist away from the floor, engaging your tummy muscles, and squeezing your bottom muscles. Lift your leg up towards the ceiling, leading with the side of your foot and not your toes. Bring your leg back down to the starting position. Repeat the exercise on this side of your leg, making sure that your tummy is engaged. Your hips are not rocking forwards and backwards, and that you're always leading with the side of your foot. Stop there, point your toes, and bring your leg forwards and backwards, imagining you're drawing little rainbows with your foot. All of the movement should be coming from your hip joint, and only your legs should be moving throughout this exercise. Your hips should not be rocking forwards and backwards. Stop there, turn over to the other side, and we'll repeat the same on your other leg. Check your starting position. Make sure your hips are stacked one on top of the other, legs stretched out, and your other arm is either in front of you or placed onto your hip. Flex your foot, point your toes towards yourself, draw your waist away from the floor, engage your tummy muscles, and as you squeeze your bottom, lift your leg up towards the ceiling, leading with the side of your foot. Now bring your leg back down to your starting position. Continue this exercise. Stop there. Now point your toes of your top leg and begin by bringing it forwards and backwards, drawing an imaginary rainbow. Make sure your hips are not rocking forwards and backwards on this exercise. The bigger you make your rainbow, the more difficult the exercise to maintain your hip stability. If you're just starting, stick with the small little rainbows and make them bigger and bigger with time. Stop there. Now roll yourself gently onto your tummy. Stretch your legs out behind you, pointing your toes, and bring your arms up in front of you, making a pillow out of them underneath your forehead. Draw your belly button towards your spine and push your pubic bone into the mat. Engaging your bottom muscles, lift one leg up towards the ceiling, starting at your hip, keeping your knees straight. Gently bring it back down to the floor and repeat on the other side. Continue doing this exercise, alternating legs. This is a small movement. Your lower back should not be overextending. All of the movement should be coming from your hip joint. If you've been doing the class for a while, you can make this exercise harder by kicking your legs, imagining that you are swimming. Keep going. Push yourself up into a 4-point kneeling position with your body slightly forwards away from your knees. Keep your elbows tucked into your sides and begin to lower your body towards the ground into a press-up position. Making sure your tummy is engaged, push yourself back up into your starting position, keeping your elbows tucked in, ensuring our triceps is engaged throughout this exercise. Complete as many press-ups as you can, making sure your whole body is being drawn towards the floor, not just your arms bending and your head coming down towards the floor. We will now do a short cool down to help stretch out all of those muscles that have worked hard throughout the exercise class. Start in a 4-point kneeling position. Bring your hips to your ankles. Bring your knees apart, making space for your belly. Stretch your arms forwards and rest your forehead onto the mat. Breathe into the base of your lungs and gently exhale, normalizing your breath pattern. Imagine your muscles relaxing with each inhale you take and release any leftover tension on each exhale. Keep breathing at your own pace. Gently push yourself up into a 4-point kneeling position. Slowly bring your right foot forwards in front of your left knee and slide your left leg back behind you. Keep your hips facing forwards and begin to sink back onto your bottom. This is called pigeon's pose and helps stretch out your glute muscles. If you feel you are able to, drop down onto your elbows, resting your head onto the floor, feeling a stretch around the side of your hip and into your bottom, and take deep breaths here. Gently lift your head up, push yourself back up to support yourself on the weight of your hands. Slide your left leg forwards so that you're back on your knee and bring your right leg back into a 4-point kneeling position. Repeat on the other side. Remain in a 4-point kneeling position. Reach your left arm up towards the ceiling, following your arm with your gaze. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, thread your left arm underneath your right arm, aiming to bring your shoulder and head towards the floor. Rest in this position. Take a few deep breaths, feeling a nice stretch across your spine and your upper body. Push yourself back up through your right hand and bring your left arm out to the side. Repeat this sequence on the left side another 2 times. Now switch sides. Bring your right arm up towards the ceiling, following your arm with your gaze. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, thread your right arm underneath your left arm, bringing your right shoulder and your forehead towards the mat. Pause here, take a few breaths, push through your left hand, and uncurl your right arm, bringing it back up towards the ceiling. Repeat another 2 times on this side. Sink back onto your heels and stretch your legs out in front of you, sitting down onto your bottom now. Make sure you're sitting on your sit bones. Readjust yourself, pulling your bottom out from underneath you if you need to. And keep your back nice and straight. Bring your left foot towards your right leg. Reach your left arm up towards the ceiling, stretching through your side. And bend sideways towards your right foot. Try and angle your chest up towards the ceiling to give yourself a bit more of a deeper stretch. Take a few deep breaths here. Release your arm back down. Switch your feet around. Now bring your right foot to your left leg. Reach your arm up towards the ceiling and bend over sideways towards your left outstretched foot. Try and angle your chest up towards the ceiling for a deeper stretch. Take a few deep breaths here. Let go of the stretch, come back to middle, and come into standing. In standing, grab hold of your left foot and bring it up behind you towards your bottom. Imagine you're tucking your tailbone under and trying to keep your knees together. You should feel a big stretch down the front of your quad muscle. Try not to let your tummy drop forwards. Make sure your belly button is drawn towards your spine and keep your tailbone tucked under to make the stretch deeper. Keep breathing. Let go of your foot and swap sides. Grab hold of your right foot, bring it up towards your bottom behind you. Tuck your tailbone under. Engage your tummy muscles and try and keep your knees as close together as possible. Feel the stretch through the front of your thigh and keep breathing. Release your foot. Take a few breaths here. As you breathe in, reach up towards the ceiling and then relax back down as you breathe out. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, let go. And final breath, breathe in, reach up, and breathe out, let go. Well done, you've completed the exercise class. Well done on completing your exercise classes. Try to complete the exercises 3 to 4 times a week, mixing up between the mat work class and the strength class to gain full benefits of both. Try to plan a rest day between exercise days to allow your muscles to fully regenerate and get stronger. Remember to move little and often throughout the day, doing small exercises and stretches to help prevent stiffness and pain and keep your body moving. Hope to see you again soon.